Today we received a report and extensively debated upon it. However, I did not put a question because everybody was not there. I now put a question that the report on the Standing Committee on Government Assurance and Implementation on the status of implementation and assurance to fully operationalize new recreated cities be adopted by this House. Those in favor say on the contrary. The ayes have it.
Is not yet here. Efforts are being made through the Office of the Government Chief Whip to try and get one of the ministers. We pray that, yes, I have actually requested. I have requested. So I request that the matter be stood over until they will.
Order or not?
Appreciate the role of the Attorney General in trying to defend his fellow ministers. But this order paper has been there. You gave us room yesterday. You adjourned the House. And the Ministry of Works has more than 2 ministers. Sincerely, being less to this kind of level is not acceptable. So is the Attorney General and the friend in order to enter appearance here by giving defenses of those who are supposed to carry out their duty, well knowing that we came here for business. And the issues dealing with the roads are growing day by day in this House. Madam Speaker, is he in order? Or we censure him? We can censure him now.
Honorable Ssewungu, which rule has the Attorney General offended? Which rule?
Madam Speaker, the rule he has offended is by not responding to the need of the House. And that alone, because the order I'm raising is on his prayer to defend those who are...
Express, eh? Yes, Honorable Bahati.
Madam Speaker, the Minister of Works is around Parliament is about to enter, and I wanted to suggest that in the meantime, we can start the debate. We shall be taking notes here because he's in the parking. He's in the parking, coming in the House.
By the way, the discussion that was supposed to be done here from the Minister of Finance, we had discussed the issues of the roads. And the issues of the roads that we discussed about, we did not end because there was an issue of financing. All we needed to find out was from the Minister of Finance, how best can we have these roads worked on. And there are 3 categories of roads. One, the roads that were worked on, that were being worked on by UNRWA. How do we continue with these projects? The second one was the new roads. Should we start new roads when we have not finished the existing roads, and then the district roads? That is basically what was being done. So can we go ahead as there's government here, they will take note. It's a collective responsibility. Collective responsibility. I will not keep this item on the order paper every day. Honorable members, you will recall that last week, Wednesday, 30th July 2025, the Minister of Works and Transport presented a statement on the roads and status of roads projects in the country. We deferred the debate to yesterday. He was not here, and now even today he is not here. But the debate was pending the presence of the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Because what the Minister was saying here was, I don't have money. There was no money released. And because of that, we needed to hear from the Minister. Honorable members, You'll also recall that you had, that His Excellency, the President, communicated publicly about the matter on the roads, and some of the things that he mentioned are: one, the dangers of excessive reliance on external financing for all the development projects, citing abrupt and disruptive donor decisions that may impede the realization of planned projects. Two, the need for self-reliance in financing development projects. Three, he categorized the projects into three. He said the first one is the very well done new roads such as the Kampala-Entebbe Express Highway, Kampala-Gulu, the oil roads in Bunyoro, and excellent roads in municipalities such as Hoima, Gulu, Masaka, but mentioned but a few. Two, the very important roads that were initially good but have now deteriorated, such as Mitiana Mubende, Chenjojo, Mukono Jinja, Ibanda Mbarara Ishaka. He attributes the deterioration to under-budgeting. The local government roads that have deteriorated because of misuse of the 1.3 billion, which was allocated, and that money was meant to be used for maintenance. The President has directed the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to allocate 3.2 trillion required for these roads alone. The President further undertook to have the following roads worked on. That is Mitiana, Mubende, Chenjojo, Ibanda, Mbarara, Ishaka, Mbarara, Mukono, Logasi, Jinja, Mpondwe, Nebi, Arua, Ntunga, Murukungiri. And His Excellency also indicated that other planned roads will be indicated in the next manifesto. In light of this, I will request the Minister of Works, Transport to come and explain to the members, and then we open the debate. But based on what guidance the President has already given. Honorable Minister.
I'm happy that the President has communicated on this matter, because we had a meeting with the President and the Minister of Finance on the issue of these roads, and he appreciated that while we may not get all the money in one financial year, he directed those very critical roads that they must be maintained in very usable conditions. And he said we have already started on Mitiana Mubende, so we must finish that road. And also the section between Chegegwa and Chenjojo is terrible. And what we are going to do, as we wait for the funding from the Ministry of Finance, we are moving our unit, which has been working on Jinja Road, to move and do work on Chegegwa Chenjojo to fully rehabilitate that section. We are also already committed China Railway 18, which is going to work on Nebiarua. They've already started forward maintenance, so they are going to start doing the real rehabilitation of Nebiarua. As regards Chikolongo Mpondwe, already there is a contractor working on Chikolongo Mpondwe. They are doing forward maintenance as of now, but after that they will do the full rehabilitation with funds coming in from the Ministry of Finance. We have Ntungamo, Kagamba, Ukunjiri. That road, we want to save it before it deteriorates further, because it has reached the stage where we can save it with the resurface just like what we did with the northern bypass. So that road will also be done. As far as regards Ishaka, Mbarara, and Mbarara Ibanda, we already have a company which is already identified to work on that road. It's called Shadong, high speed. They are going to be working on that, on those two sections of the road. And they are already working with the Ministry of Finance in a pre-financing arrangement. I think they're finalizing the financial terms with the Ministry of Finance, but others they're going to start mobilizing equipment to be on those two sections of the roads. As regards Gulu, Atiak, Nimule, that one also needs to be attended to, and we are soon going to have a contractor, MTF, on that road to work on Gulu, Atiak, Nimule. As regards Maraba, Jinja, Kampala, Masaka to Katuna, this is our artery. And we have decided as a ministry that we are going to have two companies fully on those roads so that they address whatever requirements are there. What we have been doing now with our in-house team has been really addressing those bad spots. But as far as Mukono, Rugazi, Jinja, Maraba Road is concerned, that section, there is a company called CRBC. It's going to be fully committed on that road. Right now, we have Kodrosi, which is doing the bridge on Katonga, and it's going to concentrate on that section. They have already done the estimates from Masaka to Kampala. As they are doing the bridge, they will also be doing the bad sections. As you will see, they are going to address the Karandazi swamp and also the Rera swamp, which they are working on now. We hope that once we get money, we are going to pay and encourage more of our baker to speed up on the Ssewungu Kiwoga Hoima Road. He's doing a good job, but I think he needs full support of us paying him in time, because this is the local contractor who has actually proved himself that supported he can do work. And he has already proved on the section we are seeing between Busunju and Chivoga, but he's supposed to complete up to Hoima, including the bridge at Kafu. We are also rehabilitating bridges like the bridge on Kayunga Road, Seziwa Bridge, which is already being worked on by again a local company called Dynaco, and they're now moving towards doing the remaining stages. They've already done the box culverts to do the refill, take the refill waters, extra waters, but they'll be able to do the bridge. On the other side of Katonga, which we call the northern side of Katonga, from Kavurasoke, there is another company called Rodo, a local contractor, is also doing that bridge. So these are the efforts which I can talk about, and we have images of Rodo, and even the Minister of Water can confirm. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Roads. I am happy that you're talking about the construction of the new roads. Can we make sure that the lifespan of these roads is a little longer than, because now most of the roads that we have a shorter lifespan, and yet by the time we rehabilitate this road, we are still paying the loan which we borrowed for making the road. And then the other thing, as you agree with the Minister of Finance to ensure that you have the money to be paid, can we look at companies that have arrears with you to avoid litigation and then payment with interests? Because you find the interest that you pay for these people become even too much. We appreciate we don't have money, Honorable Minister, but originally we had offices, UNRWA offices in different regions. Can you activate those regions, those regional offices, to be able to work on the roads as soon as there's an issue on a road?
Right, Honorable Speaker, we have 23 active stations. and these stations have equipment. What actually delayed their being active was because of the process we were going through in absorbing the UNRWA staff. That process is more or less complete now with the public service. So we have the station managers. The station managers are sub-accounting officers. We send their money on the stations, and they're supposed to address mainly those station managers, the national roads.
Maybe before I give the members to raise their issues, one on the issue, somebody raised the issue, France had raised the issue of Hoima Road, much as the works are ongoing. But like I said the other time, the dust is too much. You cannot even be able to see the next person.
Okay.
We may not have the money now, but can the contractor continue watering and ensuring that there is not that dust on the road?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker, you're right. When a contractor is working on the road, it's mandatory of that contractor to whenever. This has happened also. We also received complaints on Mitiana Mobende Road around where the contractor is working now, that the dust is too much. So I've already told my project supervising team to ensure that the contractors water, because it's mandatory of them to do that. So this, as I was saying, Right Honourable Speaker, the stations are now active. They may not have started, please. The stations are active. I can even tell you the names of the station managers in all the stations. Because
can we leave the minister finish? We've been waiting for the minister.
I've told you that it took time for the station managers to be in station because they had to get authority to become accounting officers, sub-accounting officers. So when we give them the money, they must present a work plan. They have the money. They have the money. Please listen. They have the money, but what had delayed was them being authorized to spend the money because they have to be given the authority by the PS and the Minister of Finance.
Honorable members.
Once they get that authority, they spend the money. The stations do two things. Let me explain. The stations do two things. One, they supervise what we call framework contracts. They are works which may be too big for the station to handle. So we engage contractors in what we call a framework contract. So they go on those roads and do the framework. For example, we recently received the problem between Kotido and Kabong. And my station manager in Moroto, yes, courtesy of the speaker, and my station manager in Moroto has already sent a framework contractor to handle the Kotido Kabong section. The Kotido station is going to handle the section between Kotido and Moroto. My station in Moroto, on force account, they are going to handle between Moroto and Lopei. So these stations are active. The station in Soroti and Olupot has been handling the works between Soroti, Katakwi, and the other areas. So if your station has not been active, if your station has not yet been active, yes.
Honorable Minister, can we hear from the Minister? Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister of Works, I can confirm the stations are working. Mine in Mbale is working. Mine in Mbale is working. And maybe you just need to check with your stations. Honorable Minister, Honorable members, can you sit? Sit. Can you sit? Sir, we'll also want you to address us on the issue of the 1.3 that goes to the districts, whether you've given the districts guidelines on what should be done.
Right Honourable Speaker, let me clarify. The districts under the road fund, and I wanted this to be clear, the road fund was not removed. The fund was not removed. What was done was to change the management of the fund. We are still sending the money, which is through that fund, straight to the districts. The 1 billion is sent directly from the Minister of Finance to the district. Please, the money is sent directly from the Minister of Finance to the district.
That's
the
true.
1 billion.
That's true.
So when we talk of the 1.3, we think on average, that's what the districts get in a year, 1.3 billion. What the billion from the Minister of Finance and what we send from the road fund. Now the management of that fund is under the district road committee, on which members of parliament are members. So the management of that fund is actually, if I could appeal, that members of parliament, you help us to follow the management of that fund.
Thank you, thank you. And they are doing that under their oversight role.
Exactly.
If you don't do that, then the problem comes back to you as members of parliament. Lucy?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I mentioned the roads and the contractors that have been awarded. Unfortunately, for Atiak Nimule, Gulu Atiak Nimule, which is now a death trap, and it is a very, very bad road now, I've not had any commitment in terms of the contractor who is going to go there. Secondly, Honorable Minister, I mentioned to you the other time about our bad road from Away to Rhino Camp. This was a road that was managed under then UNRA, now Ministry of Works, and it was under Foster County, the section from Away to the town council where the district headquarters is. I can tell you that even as the station manager is doing his best.
You need to be brief. Everybody wants to speak.
Minister, the station offices don't have the funds to actually put gravel. They are just digging, and every time it rains, it gets worse. Vehicles get locked up, and it is a big problem. So you need to take care of this. Thank you.
Honourable members, so that you don't repeat the release and how they are handling this, let's first hear from finance, so that you don't, because the money could have just gone maybe this week, and you're expecting something to have been done before. So, Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much. Right Honourable Speaker, Right Honourable Speaker, inform the House about the releases. I want to share the same concerns about the state of our roads, because recently while I was campaigning in Rwanda, I drove on a 27-kilometer road, the Ruhija Butogota road. 27 kilometers took me 1 hour and a half to get to where I was going. So I had to apologize on behalf of government that we shall look for the money to do the road, because the road condition was bad. Madam Speaker, now I come to the money. In this financial year, our budget for our allocation for road interventions is approximately 3.1 trillion, out of which 1.14 trillion has been released for this Q1. And out of this release, only $123.5 1.7 billion is already available to Ministry of Works for spending. The rest, we await Ministry of Works to request for it from us for spending. Madam Speaker, as you may note from the directives from the President and a number of meetings we have held with the Ministry of Works and Transport, because we work closely, this budget is inadequate to meet the demand in both rehabilitation and construction of the new roads. What is the commitment? As the Minister of Works has stated, we have decided to continue working together in terms of with the Ministry of Works, in terms of looking for the money and also pushing for the works which are ongoing. Madam Speaker, since I have got a chance to be on this microphone, let me also state that I am happy with the work being done on Masaka Road compared to the previous 4 or 5 months. Now we see Katonga moving, we see the swamps has been talking about moving. I also move on Mubende Road. I am now a little bit happy that work has also started moving. And also on other roads. Therefore, what do we ask for, Right Honorable Speaker, is that we take a commitment that finance and works will continue working together. We at finance will continue looking for the money in the current constrained circumstances, and also the works to facilitate the Ministry of Works continue pushing the work so that our road status is recovered and maintained to where it was at least 3 years ago. Also, lastly, at least now, I can confirm that the station manager for UNRWA, now Ministry of Works, is now available on phone and working. And also at the station, we are able to speak to her and she tells us the action plans she has.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. On the road, I want you to look at NDP 4 from page 350 and to page 354. It is in that page that you are able to understand which ones are ongoing roads and which ones are planned roads, so that we don't look funny. We don't look funny when we are talking about what is already in the NDP4. Just tell me what is the number of your road on the NDP4. Tell me. I gave you people NDP4, and I've also told you the schedule where those roads are. So talk about the road and then the number, so that we discuss it. Yes. What is it? Okay, let me start with the Ojok. You have there's a procedure matter here.
Thank you. Thank you for directing us to take us to NDP4. But at the stage where we are, Right Honorable Speaker, the stage where we are, we had a minister the other week who came and alarmed the nation and he said, I have these roads, they will not be worked on because there is no money. Right Honorable Speaker, the public heard that and the roads were mentioned here. Right Honorable Speaker, the President responded by saying, put all the money on roads. At this stage, Right Honorable Speaker, what we want to hear from both the ministers after the presidential directive, I want to hear the Minister of Finance that after that we prioritized this amount of money to go to roads. Madam Speaker, we should stop speaking in tongues at this level. The Minister of Finance came here, he's just talking about regional and how his road, we need to know, Honorable Musasizi, how much money was prioritized after the presidential directive. We want to know which roads were given priority for that money.
Can I...
Minister of Works, Madam Speaker, the minister should stand on his feet. Honorable Jodo Katumba Wamala.
Honorable Samba, you don't have to shout. You're using a microphone, is listening to you talking. It is not shouting that stresses a point. Honorable members, the President raised a number of issues. He says the danger of excessive reliance on external financing for development projects, citing abrupt and disruptive donor decisions that may impede the realization of planned projects. When we overdepend on these monies for making the roads, when somebody cuts off the donation of the funding, we get problems. However, he says there is need for us to be self-reliant, for us to be able to finance. That's why you find some of these roads are funded by Uganda, our own funding. But then he categorizes the roads and he says, the very well done new roads, and he talks about them. Then he says, the very important roads that were initially good but have now deteriorated, such as Mityana Mubende, Chenjojo, Mukono Jinja, Ibanda Mbarara, Mbarara Ishaka. He attributes those deteriorations to under budgeting. And that's why I was saying that you give a lower lifespan because of the low amount of money, other than giving a higher lifespan by giving enough money for those roads to be worked on. But however, they said this money should be given to complete the most important roads, which are mentioned. And the roads are there, which the minister has talked about. And the president further undertook to have the following roads worked on. Mityana, Mubende, Chenjojo. I know you're very interested in the Mubende road. Ibanda, Mbarara. Ishaka, Mbarara. Mukono, Lugasi, Jinja. Kikorogo, Mpondwe. Nebi, Arua. Ntungamo, Rukongiri. There are a number of them. And that's why I was referring you to the NDP4. And I'm happy there's only one person here, Honorable Masaba. Honorable Masaba, next is to you, because you're going to talk with authority. Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm interested in knowing the progress of the upgrade of the Soroti, the Tororo-Mbale Soroti, 150 kilometers road, because it was planned to have started the rehabilitation of that project. But as I speak, there is nothing that shows that there is any work that is to be done on this project. Then the other one is the Mbale Kokonjeru, Wanale Road, that is about 21 kilometers. And then lastly, I'm interested in knowing how you're spending the money on the rural bridge infrastructure development project, because we've not been receiving proper accountability, and we expected that this probably comes and helps most of our bridges and roads in our districts and cities. I would like to get those details as well. Thank you very much.
Honourable Minister, first answer what?
Right, Honourable Speaker. The 28-kilometer circular road of Bududa was identified in NDP 3 and NDP 4 for tarmacking. But as we wait for the tarmacking, we are putting a contractor on that road for maintenance. That road is supposed also to be done by Abubakar as the contractor on tarmac. But as we wait for that, it will be done, it will be maintained. I can even share with you the number of my station manager of Umbale, called Idina, and you can call her and she'll tell you who the contractor is on that road.
Honourable Minister, you're talking about the Bududa?
The Budunda
Circular road. That was...
Oh, yours is in Kokonjeru. The Kokonjeru. That road we are using our team from the training center, which you know, Meltec. We want to do a cobblestone project on that road. Because of it, the nature of that road, doing tarmac, it will be washed away very readily. So our team in Meltec, which is our training center, has already done studies on how to do cobblestone, and we intend to do that road with the cobblestone technology. We are going to do that road with the cobblestone. You wait when we start. And then the Aware Road, Attack Nimule, there's a company called MTF, which will go on that road. The road from Attack, of course, you know that Attack to Raropi is already done. Raropi Afoji, we are in procurement stage for Raropi Afoji.
Thank you.
Tororo Mbale, that road is under what we call the Northern Road, NERAP, the Northern Road Rehabilitation Project. It's being done by Motenji under the World Bank. They have so far done all the way from Kamdini, and they have crossed into Soroti now, and they're coming towards Tororo. We had the challenge when there was a threat to stop the project, but then it was the World Bank, when they came and made an appreciation of what had been done, they decided to finish the project. It's ending in Tororo.
Thank you.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I totally appreciate the challenge of these regional workshops. I did report on this floor that we have already come up with a new list of equipment where cities, municipalities, and these big regions are going to be addressed. The President has directed that we use the same method of procurement like what we used for the 1,151 equipment which we distributed, and we already in talks with the Minister of Finance, and I know that there is also a delegation going to Japan soon, and one of the things we are going to discuss is the issue of those equipment. So hopefully with financing and also the financing arrangements being agreed on between the two governments, we should be able to get those equipment, and then we shall decentralize these regions. For example, you find, as you said, Gulu takes care of Karamoja all the way up to Kabong, and you can imagine Gulu handling Karamoja and then also handling West Nile up to Koboko. It's really overstretched. So we hope that once this procurement is through, we shall decentralize and create mini centers in these regions.
Thank you.
As regards to the Pakwach, Aviri, Rhino Camp Road, this road is going to be done because there is even a lot of pressure from the Ministry of Tourism because they are going to relocate rhinos into Rhino Camp. So we are working with the Ministry of Tourism to ensure that this road is done.
Hassan.
Right Honourable Speaker, the funding of these projects, especially construction of roads, is done by external funding. And as a Committee on National Economy, we process these loans, and this Parliament approves loans for these projects. Honorable Speaker, where we are now, the Minister of Finance telling us that there is stoppage of funding. Could it be that our government broke some of the rules or the conditions in the financing agreement? Because I remember one of the issues was with UNRWA, when it was very categorical that the implementing agents during the process of this particular loan was supposed to be UNRWA. Now we went on with rationalization and the UNRWA was taken under the Ministry of Works. Could it be that external funding is being cut because we are breaking the terms and conditions that we are set up in the financing agreement? Maybe the Minister of Finance and Works can clarify on that. Thank you.
Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of the foreign funded project, yes, it was a precondition when we were rationalizing and when we went into discussions with the funders, World Bank, African Development Bank, and Islamic Development Bank. One of the conditions they gave us is that the project implementation units must be retained. And we have retained all the project implementation units on all the projects. That is Busega and PG. The full project unit is there. Kampala-Jinja Expressway, the full project unit is there. And any other project, Koboko-Yumbe Moyo, the project unit is there. We have not stopped any project implementation unit or changed these people because that was a precondition of the... There are other issues regarding delays in disbursements, but it's not about the rationalization.
Thank you. Alan.